Rated M for mature.
There comes a time in every Zombie Army 4 player's life when they get so good that, well, they're just showing off now. Here are 7 signs that you've become that player. Hello there and welcome to the channel. Now, they say the meek are blessed and that nobody likes a show-off, but whoever they are, it doesn't sound like they've watched a footballer celebrate a goal since 1940, and they certainly aren't up to date with their hip-hop releases. The zeitgeist's changed. Owning your own abilities and being a bit cheeky about it now is the new just being quietly brilliant. Nowhere is that more true than in gaming, where dabbing after killing an enemy is actually considered good manners, and when the best players can express their creativity through the medium of just showing off. With Zombie Army 4 as our reflective prism by which we gaze at all of gaming, we rustled together 7 things that not only would you only do if you were supremely confident in your own abilities, but also the only point of doing them is to demonstrate how supremely confident you are in your own abilities. Here then are 7 show-off tricks only expert players have ticked off. If you're new here, welcome. If you like the vibe, hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell are the easiest ways to make sure you catch our new content when it lands. Now on with the show.
Grenadier down.
First off is just a needless touch of irony-laden show-offery that really sums this video up. Taking a downed special enemy's weapon and then saving it to take down the next special of that type. Because the Zombie Army 4 player's first instinct when they pick up a downed MG gunner's special weapon is to squeeze the trigger, possibly shout, "Get some, get some!" over and over again, and keep squeezing it until all the bad things are on the floor. And let's face it, that's an effective tactic too. But waiting for the next MG gunner to appear and unleashing their very own weapon against them, or at least that of their close friend who's now deceased, well, what a flex that is. Doing this on butchers is peak show-offery though. I mean, it's hard enough to get a butcher dead, but also doing it using only a melee weapon with limited charge, well, now you're just being silly. The player who pulls this off has long since stopped looking at their health meter because it hasn't taken a dent since we were last allowed in shops without face coverings. They're playing a higher game now, making artistic statements with each kill. And you've got to respect that.
You know what really helps to show off how much of a, well, show off you are? Explosions. And what better explosions are there in Zombie Army 4 than Telemines, Panzerschrecks and artillery flares? Now, I know what you're thinking, but Gareth, those items are precious commodities. We need those for survival, for getting ourselves out of a tight spot. Yes, well, true, but come on, they do look so good, don't they, when they go off? So why not have some fun with them? Society has almost been completely wiped out, so really you're doing the urban planners and architects of the future a favour. Instead of just laying down the odd telemine here or there, why don't you place several in close proximity? The next time you find an artillery flare, how about luring your fiendish frenemies with a bait grenade and then enjoying the spectacular light show? Oh, and of course, don't forget to do a little dance at the end. Always important. It may take a little bit more preparation than you're used to. Honestly, zombies these days have no sense of timing whatsoever, but it will easily be the most stylish and most overkill approach you can take to literally vaporizing your enemies.
Next up is a pro move that actually has some functional benefit in that it absolutely decimates large groups of enemies. So if you're in later horde mode waves, this isn't just about doing a metaphorical dab in the faces of your enemies, but actually increasing your chances of survival. I'm talking about throwing a bait grenade near a trap. Yes, traps are more than capable of turning large groups of enemies into compost on their own, without any help from a rare grenade type that we generally save for special occasions. But when you combine the two, you get a spectacle that looks like the entire enemy wave is Hitler's old paperwork, and you just turned on the big office shredder. The reaction to this, if you do it online with strangers, might go one of 2 ways. If you've been struggling before that point and maybe your teammates have had to revive you, they probably won't be enamored with the idea of using 2 resources to do 1 job. On the other hand, if you've been squeaky clean until that point, they'll probably just have to suck it up, won't they? Keeping hold of health really buys you Billy Big Potato status in this game. Speaking of,
Right, you're trapped in the living nightmare of a decimated Europe that is currently being ravaged by the relentless rotting hordes of Hitler's undead army. Okay, check. And you're part of a squad of expert zombie-slaying, battle-hardened badasses. Double check. So how then can you show off to this squadron of supreme show-offiness whilst trying to survive? Well, that's simple. Don't use a med pack or ammo crate. Yep, you heard that right, don't use them. If you want to show the world just how amazingly cool you are when surrounded by biting, snarling and scratching enemies, and look badass whilst doing it, then you can't do much better than by never using a med pack or collecting ammo from those handily placed ammo crates. Med packs just get in the way really, don't they? Slowing your character down, although not really, just to be clear, when you could be aiming and firing at yet more zombies. And ammo crates? What kind of self-respecting show-off would dash to an ammo crate in the midst of a zombie apocalypse? Get those boots stomping and squishing on as many ammo-carrying zombies as possible. Oh, and of course, don't forget to gloat to your teammates once you reach the exit to remind them that you didn't use either. That really is showing off.
Next up is a very specific kind of killing. In a game about doing killing in a lot of different ways, this is a special kind of killing. One that, when it happens, makes you sit back in your chair and say to yourself, I've done a really good kind of killing there. Well done me. Ladies and gentlemen, multiple X-ray kill cam deaths. Now, compared to its cousin, Sniper Elite 4, kill cams are rare enough in Zombie Army 4. You get them for only the nicest snipes, the distance shots into specific organs that warrant a bit of celebration. But killing more than one enemy within these cutscenes, well, that's next level stuff. Your best bet here is to aim squarely and at the same level as a tight horde, hoping to catch someone directly behind your visible target and then also someone behind them. And not to get all sciencey on you or anything, but bursting through a human head does shave off a bit of velocity from a bullet, so penetrating 2 or even 3 zombies in one go like a kebab skewer through room temperature chicken, well, that's a real feat. And so it finds its way onto this list.
Impressed?
How can you possibly show off your show-offiness to the world in Zombie Army 4 without taking down Hitler? I mean, it's Hitler. You simply have to kill him. But instead of just lazily destroying his meat tank of death and surviving endless waves of his loyal forces before the final skull-crushing act, why not do it all in style? We're talking ninja suits, we're talking God of War berserker outfits, we're talking an armor-plated Shola. Oh, and of course, my favorite zombie Hector in his very dapper officer's uniform. Let's not forget you're also able to choose from a vast selection of headwear. Want to smash Hitler's brains into pulp whilst wearing a bucket on your head? No problem. How about an angry face bucket? Sure. Clown mask? You got it. Devil face? Why not? How about going full Jason Voorhees and stomping on the dictator with this fetching hockey mask? The possibilities are truly endless and make that moment when you send zombie Hitler back to the depths from whence he came all the more memorable. Killing the worst dictator on earth has never been done so stylishly.
Last on our list of show-off moves that only players who are really confident in their abilities pull off is a bit of showboating that has zero practical benefit. In fact, it's the opposite behaviour to what we've recommended in the past in tips videos, and it's all about takedowns. The takedown charges up with concurrent made shots on enemies, and when it's charged it unlocks a melee attack that takes regular enemies down instantly, including armoured giants, and it can even kill specials if you stagger them first. What's more, you don't take any damage while you're going through the animation of the takedown itself. They are incredibly useful to keep in your back pocket, in other words. So when you decide to use one on the last enemy of a wave, just some regular schmo that you could have easily one-shotted with any weapon, just to put the full stop on the wave, well, I mean, that's the definition of showing off. You're essentially saying to the game, I don't need your help, thanks Zombie Army 4. I'll be fine using this incredibly useful extra ability for a joke. Don't worry about it. Your teammates, on the other hand, well, maybe it's best we don't go into what they're saying, eh?
This is one for the books.
So there you have it, 7 tips to help make your playstyle the most show-offy as possible. It's not a popularity contest, it is really, but leave us a like if you enjoyed the video and hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed our egocentric exploration into the world of supreme show-off, show-offy showmanshipness. And of course, don't forget to leave us a comment and share with us your own examples of being the center of attention. We promise not to show you up. Maybe.